Good evening, family. Happy Wednesday night. I'm so excited to have you today on this particular segment, and I believe that we're going to have an awesome time. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for tuning in, and I believe we're going to have a great time. We're going to have an awesome time. And I'm just going to encourage you to please like, share, comment on the feed as well. And also, let's get our world into this room. Let's get the people that follow you into this room. And I just want to check who's watching. I see my beautiful wife is watching. Welcome, my wife. Good to see you. And I see Tabo is watching on Facebook. Welcome, Tabo. Good to see you. And we have Caroline Slaswan is watching. Welcome, Caroline. Good to see you. Great to have you once again. And we have Katleho Musaka watching on YouTube. Welcome, Katleho. Good to see you. And excuse me. And we have Leboham Matlangu watching from on Facebook. Welcome, Leboham. Good to see you. We have Tsepo watching. Welcome, Tsepo. Good to see you today. And we have Memam Lefe watching. Welcome. We have KG watching. Welcome. We have Austia Kunupi watching. Welcome. And we have Tato Mufukeng watching. Welcome, Tato. Good to see you guys. And we have Bongani Mbele watching. Welcome, Bongani. Good to see you. And it's great to have you on today's episode of Wednesdays with Pastor K. I believe we're going to have an awesome time today. And last week we focused on a very powerful topic, which is the benefits of being confident. We did highlight the very importance of being confident in our daily walk and in our lives as well. And I just want to quickly recap on what we discussed last week and the definition of being confident. We said it's a feeling of trust in one's abilities, one's qualities, and judgment, the morale and composure. That's what we defined as being confident. And we said also being confident is having a great self-esteem. It's a self-esteem. And we said confidence opens many doors and it will benefit you professionally. We also mentioned that it gives you a strong presence. That's one thing about people that are confident. It gives you a strong presence. Wherever you go, you carry that presence, that strong presence. And that's what confidence will do in your life. And also in public spaces, it matters how you carry your body and use your voice. That's what we mentioned last week. And we also we spoke about lack of confidence. We said when you don't have confidence, lack of confidence silences your gift. It silences your gift. You must remember your gifting flows through confidence. If you lack confidence, that will silence your gift. And I mentioned 6 keys to becoming confident. We said number 1, avoid comparison game. Avoid the comparison game. And I want to reiterate that today in today's podcast. Avoid comparison game and stick to your lane. We said you must stick to your lane. And also we said shift the focus from yourself and allow your gift to work. Shift focus from yourself and allow your gift to work. And number 3, we said address your perceived obstacles. Address your perceived obstacles. We made an example with Moses in the Bible where God spoke to him and sent him to Egypt. And Moses said to God, I cannot speak. How can you send me there? So what was Moses looking at? He was looking at his perceived obstacle, which is the ability to speak. But God was not bothered with that. God told him that Moses, my presence will go with you. So you have to exert confidence in all areas of your lives, in all areas of your life. And number 4, we said reduce negative thoughts and free yourself from doubts. Number 5, understand that your weaknesses don't change your self-worth. And we spoke about Moses and Paul again. When your actions are in alignment with your values, you have a stronger sense of purpose. Last one, dress nicely and pay attention to your personal grooming. Looking suave makes you confident. dressing nice, it will lift up your confidence. It is very important that you focus on your attire every time you're about to attend an important function. You're about to meet with people that you admire, people that you look up to. Always make sure that you dress up nicely and pay attention to your personal grooming. I'm telling you, dressing nicely will up your confidence. It will up your confidence. So you need to really be mindful of how you dress, and uh, your color coordination, how you coordinate your colors and all that. You must be very intentional when it comes to that area. It will up your confidence. So today I want us to discuss this powerful topic. It's been ringing in my brain throughout the week. Actually, it is our theme in our fasting. This week we are talking about our God being a God of growth. God being a God of growth. And today I want to zoom into another angle, but on the same topic as well. That let's discuss how to pursue growth. So the title of my message today is Pursue Growth. Pursue Growth. I want us to, our lives must produce results. And everything that you and we must be able to produce results. If you're not intentional when it comes to your life, when it comes to your day-to-day life, I'm telling you, it will be difficult for you to grow. And God has designed you and I to be people that will grow in all aspects of our lives. God desires that you will grow in all areas of your life. He wants you to grow in any area that you will be involved in. Anything that does not grow stagnates. It dies. So if you're not growing, you're dying. If you're not growing, you're standing in one place. And God encourages you and I to grow. That is why he says, be fruitful, multiply, subdue the earth, dominate the earth. We cannot do that unless you and I grow. We've got to grow, and we've got to be intentional about growth. And from the first day when the baby gets born, from that particular day, that baby must eat. The baby must eat. In fact, the baby has been eating from the stomach. So even when they are born, they have to continue eating. Why do we do that? Because they have to grow. They have to grow. Anything that does not grow, it dies. It dies. So even you and I, if let's say you are an employee, you are employed by a certain company, from that day one that they employ you, you must be focused on growing in that particular position. You must grow. You must invest in yourself. You must get to research more about that position. You must get to know more about that position so that you grow in that position. If you enter into a certain field and you don't up your game, you will become stagnant. You'll become too comfortable. And comfort zone is danger to progress. Let me say that again. Comfort zone is our danger to progress. So every area of your life that you will embark on, that's the right word, yes. If every area of your life that you will embark on, you have to show growth. There must be fruits. There must be results. You must desire to grow. You must desire to increase in that level. So don't settle wherever you go. Don't settle. Keep on pushing for a higher level, because there's always a higher level. There's always higher levels in everything that we do. So you may find that probably maybe you are a believer, you're a spiritual person. If you don't grow spiritually, your walk with God is not going to bear fruit. It's not going to bear fruit. Even in a relationship, in relationships, you've got to grow. You've got to grow in understanding relationships as well. Even in friendships, the people that you hang around with, you've got to grow also in that area. Anything that does not grow, it dies. It dies. So if your relationships are not growing, they will die. If your spirituality, you are not growing spiritually, your spirituality will die. You will die spiritually. And even if you are not growing physically, it's impossible that you will not grow physically. Otherwise, you will die. Anything that does not grow, it's something that is dead. So if you are alive, you've got to grow in all aspects of your life. Welcome, Patricia. Good to see you. And we have Tamim Kwanazu watching. Welcome, Tammy. Great to see you. And we have Tsepo. I think I've already welcomed Tsepo. Good to see you. And Tsepo says, don't settle for any level. Always know that there's a higher level than the one you are at. Absolutely. Absolutely. So personal growth, let's talk about personal growth. Personal growth is not easy. It is not easy, but the benefits will make the journey worthwhile. It is not easy to grow. When you chase growth, it will require so much of you because it will require consistency. I think we spoke about consistency about 2 weeks ago. In order for you to grow, you've got to be consistent in your passion. You've got to be consistent in your aims and goals. You've got to be consistent in everything that you want to achieve. If you're not consistent, it will be hard for you to grow. It will be hard for you to grow in that area. So even though it will not be easy, because consistency is not easy. It's not easy. It's one thing today to push harder in one particular day, or let's say probably maybe you've got to work for 7 days in a week. It's one thing to be confident and to push harder on the first day, which is a Monday. But I'm telling you, if you're not consistent by Tuesday, that oil would have subsided and that energy would have subsided. That is why you require what we call consistency. Consistency is repeating. You keep on repeating that thing. You keep on. I said the other day that success is a repetition of doing good, doing what needs to be done. You've got to keep on doing it. So personal growth, it will not be easy, but the benefits will make the journey worth your while. The benefits of consistency will make your journey worth your while. And it is through growth that we are able to access a better self, yes, the better version of ourselves. We do that through growth. Through growth. If you're not growing, you will not be able to access a better version of yourself. There is a better you inside of you. There is a powerful you inside of you. There is a greater you inside of you. And you can only access that when you are consistent and when you are intentional when it comes to the area of growth. And anything that does not grow, it stagnates. It stagnates. You know, when we say something stagnates, it means that thing has reached a cul-de-sac. That thing can no longer go forth. It stagnates. So if you're not growing, it means you're stagnating. You've got to grow in all aspects of your life. You've got to grow. And in life, you must have targets to shoot for. Can I say it again? In life, you must have targets to shoot for. You must have targets. If you don't have targets currently in everything that you're doing, be it at work, be it in business, be it in relationships, if you don't have targets or goals to shoot for, then that means you don't have direction, if I may put it that way. You don't have direction. You've got to have the targets that you have set for yourself in order to shoot for. In life, you must set goals for yourself. You must set goals for yourself. If there are no goals, I'm telling you, you've got nothing to work on. You've got nothing to aim for, because goals will keep you accountable. If you've got goals, those goals will keep you accountable, because you must always go back to those goals and check, have I achieved? Have I achieved? Have I achieved? If not achieved, you work harder in order to achieve that goal. And another thing that you have to do is to develop your skill. You must develop your skill. If you want to grow, you must develop your skill. Make sure to develop your skill. In doing so, I'm telling you, you become better at what you do. You'll become better at everything that you do when you develop your skill. Every skill that we carry is given to us in a raw format. And it is our responsibility to grow that skill. We must grow it and make it better. We must sharpen that skill so that we become better versions of ourselves. If you don't work on your skill, you will not become best in that skill or with that skill, and you will not become better at what you do. But if you make it a habit to develop your skill, I'm telling you, sooner or later, you'll be an expert in a certain field, and everybody will want to do business with you. Everybody will want to work with you. And it is very important that we develop our skill in all areas of our lives. Tabo says it's motivation that hypes you up when you start, but it is discipline and consistency that keeps you going. Absolutely. Mema Mlife says practice makes perfect. Yeah, we have to keep on doing it, and redoing it until we succeed. Sepo says goals will keep you accountable. Yep. Absolutely. Personal development. Let's talk about personal development. Personal development is looking inward. It is looking inward and focusing on ways to better ourselves. Looking inward and focusing on ways to better ourselves. You must study yourself. You must do what we call a SWOT analysis of yourself. Check your strengths, check your weaknesses, check your opportunities, check your threats, your SWOT analysis, SWOT, SWOT. You check also your threats. What is it that threatens your destiny? What is it that threatens your calling, your purpose? You must check those things. And once you've done the SWOT analysis of self, then you will know your strengths. You will know also your weaknesses. You capitalize on your strengths and you work on your weaknesses. You must work passionately on your to overcome certain weaknesses in order to become a better person. So you must do that, and you must be able to screen yourself. That's the right word, to screen yourself. Personal development increases your self-awareness. It increases your self-awareness. You have to be self-aware. You must be self-aware. You must know yourself. You must know yourself better than anybody else. You must know who you are. You must know where you're going. You must know where you come from, and you must know what you want to be in life. You must know those things. Do a self-awareness. Your self-esteem increases your skills and fulfills your aspirations. You know, if once the moment you develop a great self-esteem, I'm telling you, it's the day you'll become unstoppable. It is the day you will become unstoppable. Confidence is a seller. Confidence is also attractive. Confidence is a game changer. You must be confident in what you do, and you cannot be confident unless you grow personally. You must pursue growth. Pursue growth that you may grow in all areas of your life. Yeah. Patuchezo says, goal keeps us going. Goals keeps us going. He says, my heart bleeds for people who have no goals or people who lost hope. Most people spend the rest of their day in taverns because they are frustrated because of delay or no goals. Yeah, that's true. And Katlejo says, Pastor K, what are some of the steps you took to develop your public speaking skill? That's a good question. I will respond just now. And I wanted to check if there are any comments again there. That's good. That's good. That's good. Awesome. Thank you for that question. Katlejo, thank you for that question. Look, you know what? Reading is what helped improve my public speaking abilities. You know, I read a lot, and I was introduced to reading by listening to this one friend of mine that I met through this journey when I discovered my calling. And I remember I set up an appointment to meet with this guy. I had realized that he has been a motivational speaker for quite some time, and I wanted to speak with him. I wanted to learn more from him. So I was already in the motivational speaking game, and still bold, still confident, and all those things. But I realized that there were so many things I did not know. Like for instance, I never used to be an avid reader, and when I met with him, the level in which he spoke at, it pushed me, it challenged me. He spoke so fluently, and he spoke eloquently, and you know what? You could tell that this man was a reader. And I remember asking the Lord on my way back home, driving back, and I asked the Lord, you know what kind of a person speaks at that level? And the Lord says he's a reader, and that is why I wanted you to meet with him. I wanted you to start reading, because I'm taking you onto a journey of public speaking, and you cannot master that art unless you become a reader. And that is how I developed my public speaking skills, Katlego. I started reading a lot, and the moment I began reading, I began to discover so many things about myself. I began to discover confidence in me. I began to discover that I flow better, with new words and all that. And I began to read, and I started recording every new word I will come across. It may be in any speaking engagement, or let me put it this way: if I attend any conference or seminar, whenever I'm there and somebody speaks a word I do not know, or a word I've never heard before, immediately I will type that word into my phone dictionary and I will search that word. And that's how I got to learn that listening to people speak bigger words and you don't do anything about it, it's a sign of ignorance. And that's what I always tell people. If you're listening to somebody and they speak a word you've never heard before, and you can hear that this is a big word and you don't do anything about it, you are an ignorant person. You become ignorant. So I've learned that way, that every time somebody would mention a word I've never heard before, I would search it quickly and check the definition. And as I read all the time, because in books you get big words. So as I read all the time, I would come across these big words and I would write them down and try and define them and search them in my dictionary. So I became friends with the dictionary. I became friends with books, and I loved speaking. So I started also listening to a lot of public speakers. I listened a lot to them. And through that, that's how I got to improve in my public speaking game. So it is very important that we progress in this area of our lives. We have to always make sure we develop ourselves in the skill that we are pursuing or that we are showing interest in. We've got to grow in that area in order to become the best in what we do. I believe I've answered you, Katlego. So yeah, and let's see. Tabo says confidence is indeed a seller. I am a leader and representative in every group I am in at school because of confidence and boldness. Yeah, absolutely. There's a pocket treasure app I have on my phone which I use to improve my vocab. It is very important. Vocab is very essential. It is very important when you sit with people of relevance, people who have invested in themselves in terms of knowledge. You've got to speak at their level in order to catch their attention. Otherwise, you will never catch their attention. You will never catch their attention. And personal development increases your self-awareness, and personal development is a form of inner work. So when you develop yourself personally, you are doing what we call the inner work. The inner work. Welcome, Tsepang. My daughter is watching from YouTube. Welcome, Tsepang. Now, it is the act of looking inward to achieve a purpose or result. In order for you to self-develop, you must look inward. You must focus inwardly and work on your inner man in order to become a better person. One other aspect, like I mentioned now when I was answering Katlego, is that aspect of reading. Reading is a crucial aspect of self-development. It is a crucial aspect of self-development. Any great speaker today and any public speaker whom people consider prominent, consider renowned, you must know they are a reader. You've got to be a reader in order to speak well. Vocab is very important. You must remember, it is it applies to all nations. It applies to all nations, whether black people, white people, all nations, all nations. Also colored people, Indian people. If you are a reader, your vocab improves. Your vocab becomes powerful. You begin to speak, impeccably. And every time people would want to listen to you more and more because of your ability to speak, because of how you flow. And that is built and exercised through your reading habit. You must develop that hobby to read as much as you can. You must be an avid reader and spend a lot of time reading books. And I'm telling you, you'll become a better speaker and a better person. Yeah, absolutely, Tsepo. Okay, thank you. I'm glad you answered, Katlejo. Your other question is that how do you select the books you read? What criteria do you follow? I love your questions, Katlejo. I love your questions. I've invested more in the books, religious books, because I am a pastor. So it depends on the field that you are in. You must invest in that field. If you are a business person, invest in a lot of business books. I'm also in business. I've got business books as well. So I've got ministry books. I've got people that share their own journey spiritually. I also learn from them how they got to grow in their walk with God. I learn from those people as well. And I learn from everyone who's become great in their field. I want to see their secret for becoming great. You must know that they were consistent in a certain area of their lives, and that is what made them great. So I love studying people's lives. So I read a lot of business books and a lot of religious books, spiritual books. So that's how I choose my books. I believe I've also answered you there. But always make sure that you pursue, if you want to grow spiritually, pursue other spiritual people's testimonies of how they got to get to how they got to where they are with God. Those things will motivate you. They will push you to also seek intimacy with God and to become very close with God. And business books will sharpen your IQ when it comes to business, will sharpen your mindset when it comes to business. They will challenge you. They will challenge you. You'll realize that there are many things that you don't know when it comes to business aspects. Like the book I you the other day here online, encouraging you to buy that book, saying that it will bless you. That's the book I'm reading. If you're not an avid reader, you will never read that book up to very far. The reason why I'm saying this is that it can be a bit complicated. The technicality of that book and the what's the right word to use there? Let's leave it at that. At the technicality that comes with that book. Right. Here's the word I was looking for. The terminology in that book in the beginning, it might intimidate you if you are not an avid reader. But I'm telling you, I'm not the person to give up very quickly. So I realized that sure, the terminology here is quite interesting. But listen here, I went deeper. I continued to press on deeper. As I pressed in deeper, I began enjoying the book. And today, I'm so excited every morning when I open this book. I'm looking forward to read this book. Imagine had I given up in those first few chapters. I think it was chapter 1 and 2. Those are not the easiest ones, because they are too technical and the terminology used there would baffle you if you are not an avid reader. But I pressed on and I got to get the core. of what there is in that book. And I'm telling you, I'm enjoying that book. I'm enjoying it so much. And Lebon says, which are the books you first went for after identifying your strength and skills? The very first book I bought was Rich Dad, Poor Dad, because from being employed, and when I resigned to go into business, I wanted to learn from those who are in business, those who are very successful in business. So I bought Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, and then I bought another book because I was getting ready to resign, by the same author, Robert Kiyosaki. The book's title was Before You Quit Your Job. That's the book I read before I quit my job. The day I got to the last page of that book, when I read the last page and I finished reading the last page, that's when I handed in my resignation. So he played a very great influence in my life, Robert Kiyosaki, in me resigning and pursuing business. At that time, I did not know I was a man of God. I did not know I was called into ministry. At that time, I've always been a business person at heart, and I wanted to pursue business with everything in me, and that's why I bought those books. And then I remember I bought this other book called Capitalist Nigger. It challenged me. That book challenged me. It's blackish in color. That book challenged me. And that's when I began to now pursue reading. I'm trying to think of this other book that I bought as well by Richard Branson. Richard Branson. I'm trying to remember the title, but that book also challenged me as well. And then came Christianity. Then I started reading books from the Benny Hinns, all these great men of God. Uh, who's this other guy? I think I have his books here. Dag Heward Mills. Dag Heward Mills. I read a number of his books. He's a good writer. He's got too many books. He's got so much knowledge, when it comes to the art of ministry. I read so many of his books. I read a lot of T.D. Jakes. I read a lot of T.D. Jakes' books. He challenged me. Actually, T.D. Jakes challenged me to become a great speaker. Katlego, yes, this is a man I used to watch every morning, every morning. In my journey, the process that God took me through when I was going through the toughest season of my life, I was listening to T.D. Jakes every single day. I used to listen to I would even speak like him. I remember at one time when after listening to him, because I never used to sit still when I listened to him. And I remember asking God that what kind of a man speaks at this level. And God said, the same anointing in him, it's an anointing in you. At that time, I was not yet a pastor. I was still a motivational speaker. And the Lord said the same anointing in him, it's in you. And I kept pursuing this man. I kept pursuing this man, his books. I read a number of his material. I remember I read the book called Instinct by him. It challenged me. Every time I would read that book, I would write down notes on the side, and I would also search too many words in the dictionary. And I remember now I began to apply those words. I began to apply those words as I spoke in my functions, in my engagements, and I'm telling you, I got greater feedbacks, and people will come back to me and say, wow, you are a great speaker and all that. And I realized that, you know what, it helps. It helps to learn from others. It helps to pursue other people, to pursue people who are in your field. And slowly but surely, before I knew it, I was an avid reader. I developed that passion for books. And up until today, I can't live without reading. I can't live without reading. It's something very powerful. I always say this about reading, that reading will embarrass your ignorance. Can I say that again? Reading will embarrass your ignorance, because without reading, we remain ignorant. There will not be much that we will ever know unless we read. So we must pursue reading, guys. Welcome, Pastor Tabam Langin. Good to see you, son. Good to have you on today's episode of Wednesdays with Pastor K. And yes, I have that book, Good Morning, Holy Spirit. I've read it cover to cover, and Yes, that's a powerful book, son. It's a very powerful book. And Katlego says, Rich Dad, Poor Dad was quite intimidating for me when I got to the last chapters that were delving into accounting, but definitely going back to it. You must. That's how I felt. That's how I felt in the beginning. And like I said, I know there was a few people I recommended this book I'm reading now, Built to Last. I'm telling you, that book will challenge you. It will intimidate you in the first chapter of that book. The terminology used there, the technicality used there. I'm telling you, it will challenge anyone who is a lazy reader, anyone who does not want to read a lot. It will challenge you. You will drop the book right on first chapter. But if you pursue reading and you are in love with reading and you want to learn more, you want to copy the patterns of how these people apply their minds, I'm telling you, will hold on to those books, even though no matter how technical they may be, no matter the terminology used, in fact, you will challenge yourself in such a way that you will get used to who they are and you will become like them as well. And every time you speak, you will sound technical to other people because of what you ate. Books are food. Books are food. And yeah, Katlego Musaka is replying to Tabam Langeni Sotetsi. She says, I love this book. It's in your top 5. Awesome. It's a great book. It's a great book. Welcome, Bafana Ngosi. Good to see you. Yeah, yes, we have to pursue growth. We have to pursue growth. My dear friend and brother is online as well. Lerato Matebe said, good to see you, Sam. He's watching on Facebook. Lerato says, reading makes one fall in love with the written word. Yep. To witness an order of words bringing something abstract to life in vivid color is something that continues to fascinate me to no end, says Lerato Matebese. Great to be here, Jesus man. Welcome. Good to have you here, Jesus man. So Katlego says, pastorally reading Saw by T.D. Jakes. That man is a great writer. He is a great writer. He challenged me a lot. I still have the archives of T.D. Jakes in my PVR. I have a lot of teachings from that man. I would listen to that man every single morning. And that's how I got to shape my calling. That's how I got to shape my speaking abilities, by listening to this man every single day. And Tatum Fuken says, reading improves speech and writing, contract and business proposal advantage. Absolutely. It will give you the edge. It will give you the edge in your speaking abilities and in your writing capabilities. Reading is a go-to. It is a go-to. I must say that you must pursue reading with all that you have. Reading increases your mental fitness. You have to be mentally fit. Reading increases your mental fitness. There are people who cannot speak. There are people who are afraid of speaking because they are not fit mentally. You can only be fit mentally if you are a reader. And if you listen to a lot of great people, a lot of great minds, that thing will improve your speaking abilities. So you've got to increase your mental fitness. You got to increase your mental fitness. Reading can expand your knowledge and vocab and keep you informed. It will expand your knowledge and keep you informed. You must remember, informed people transform. Informed people transform. If you are not informed, it will be difficult for you to transform. Now, to transform is to metamorphose, is to change form. Now, when you transform, is moving from your comfort zone and accessing a different dimension of yourself that you never knew. And you begin to speak at a level you never thought you would speak at. That's what happens when transformation takes place. When transformation takes place in your life, change comes. Change comes. You begin to adopt a desire for greater things in life, and the things that not people that are practicing mediocre would really love. When you transform, it is when you move from mediocrity into a better version of yourself. That can only happen when you are a reader. When you read a lot of books, I'm telling you, you will become a better person. Your brain will function much better, because a brain that is not used to reading, it's a brain that will not do much. It's got no information. It's a software that is empty. But if you pursue reading and you develop some form of love for reading, I'm telling you, you'll become a better person. You'll become a better speaker. You'll become a better thinker. You'll become a person that reasons better. Reading stimulates your mind. It stimulates your mind and it improves your critical thinking skills. It stimulates your mind and it improves your critical thinking skills. Now, when you say something is a stimuli, when something stimulates you, it energizes you. So reading energizes your mind. I mean, the same way you would go into the shops, walk into the shops, buy Red Bull or buy Play because you need some energy in your system. It's the same thing with reading. When you read, you are like buying the Red Bull for your mind. You energize your mind, and your mind requires you to read. Yeah. Welcome, Pumzile. Good to see you. Tabanso Tete says, my hands are itching to get hold of the call of God. Can't wait. You will enjoy it, son. You will enjoy it. It's a great book. It's a blessed book. It will bless you. It will help you to understand your calling. It will help you to understand your journey of pursuing fatherhood and spiritual covering. Excuse me. It's a great book. Number 3, learn from others. Learn from others. If you want to pursue growth, learn from other people. How do we learn from others? Attend seminars and conferences that are relevant to your field. Attend seminars and conferences that are relevant to your field. I don't know how many seminars I've attended in my life. I don't know. I've attended so many seminars in my life, business seminars, marriage seminars, relationship seminars. I've attended so much seminars in my life. And that's how we grow. That's how we grow. We must be challenged by people who speak at a level that challenges our minds, that challenges our hearts, that challenges our status quo. You've got to challenge yourself by being in the space of people that are great. You must surround yourself with great minds. So how do you learn from others? You learn from others by attending seminars and conferences that are relevant to your field. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, that's right, Patuchezo. And yeah, the greatest for every believer is transformation. Absolutely. Caroline says self-growth requires change. Start by taking small steps to improve. Absolutely. I fully agree with you. And we learn from others by investing in ourselves. You must invest in yourself by also attending paid events. I want to emphasize that. By attending paid events. Many people are so inclined to attend things that will not cost them anything. And I'm telling you, let me tell you, growth in such things is very minimal. But when you invest in yourself, in your knowledge, in your mind, financially, I'm telling you, you will grow at a very amazing pace. You will grow at a level you never imagined. Many of us, we don't want to pay for self-investment, and that is why some of us we never grow. So I've attended too many seminars, paid events, and others not paid. My wife and I would attend seminars. We also coach people in marriage and relationships. We would also attend other seminars, marriage seminars, and we would pay for that. And that thing makes you better. It makes you a better person. It makes you a better speaker. It makes you a better operator in your field. Learn from others by finding a mentor. Find a mentor. someone you admire. Find a mentor, which is someone you admire, or a professional personal growth mentor. That's one thing that we ought to do as well. You've got to find a mentor, which is someone you admire that you may learn from them, or a professional personal growth mentor. Personal growth mentor. And I'm telling you, those people will challenge you, will challenge your mindset, will challenge your thinking. And every time you are with them, you'll feel challenged. It's good. It's good. It's keeping you on your toes. You've got to learn from others. You've got to learn from others. Leboang Mahlangu says conferences expand knowledge because we meet people of different levels. Yeah. And Tabo says real growth, there's a price attached to it. Absolutely. Gatejo says, I attended my very first business seminar this year, and the speaker was Vusi Tembegwayo. I've attended his business engagements, and I remember I was at some function where he was speaking. I got introduced to him. I used to go to school with one of my best buddies, my old school friend. So that's how we connected, and we sat together. That man, he shared his testimony with me, and I was so moved by his testimony. His dad was shot at a very early age of his life. Actually, his dad was shot when Vusi was young. And he witnessed that thing. He witnessed his dad being shot at, and he says from that day on, that's what pushed him to become a better person in life, and look at where he is today. So I'm very proud of you for investing in yourself and attending paid events, Katlego. I'm telling you, you will grow. You will grow in a level you never thought you would grow at, because paid events, have great investments. They have great investments. But Jesus says mentorship is very important if you want to grow. Tsepama daughter says, since I started reading the books of evangelist Reinhard Bonke, that's a powerful evangelist, the late Reinhard Bonke. One of them is Evangelism by Fire. I have seen improvement in my life in the field of soul winning. Thank you, Dad, for always pushing us to read books. God bless you, son. You are the greatest evangelist of our time. And Katlego says, Pastor K, how do you pursue someone you desire to be your mentor? I always say, Katlego, that the greatest or the easiest way to a person's heart, or a great person's heart, is by meeting their needs. The greatest access, or the easiest access to a great person's heart, is meeting their needs. So as somebody who wants to pursue a mentor, you must check what is it that they need in what they do. What is it that they need the most in what they do? Or what is it that they need to better their work? And then you start accessing those areas. By helping them meet their needs, you will have their heart. You will have their heart. That's how I teach. I teach pursuit in our ministry, and there are sons who pursue, and today they are part of the inner circle because of their level of pursuit. And you know what? Pursuit goes through obedience. It goes through finances, and we pursue also with words. So you must be able to commend your mentor. You commend them, and you are obedient to them. Whatever they teach you, whatever they instruct you to do, you obey them, and you bless them financially. You sow into them financially. If you know that they are a reader, you buy books for them. Not necessarily, it doesn't have to be necessarily about finances, but that's the aspects of pursuit. You must be able to sow in the person that you call a mentor, because you must remember, mentors can be very busy people, and you know what? It will be very difficult for them to drop everything that they do just to sit with you. but they have to know that you've got their best interest at heart, because we are exposed to many people who use other people for their own well-being, but they are not investing back in that relationship, meaning that for you as a mentor, there's no return on investment. And I'm telling you, great people, it will be very difficult for you to sit with them unless there must be something that will bring you closer to them, that will bring you closer to them. This might not be the case now, but I want to make an example now. Let's say, for instance, myself as a minister of the gospel, and I want to build a big building, a church for God. And now you see, let's say probably a business person or an entrepreneur, and you see that this is a man of God is called to build the house of the Lord, and you fund this project, you bring in 1 million into that project, and the moment they say to me, man of God, there's 1 million that came in, I want to know from who. And they say that 1 million came from Katlego Musaka. Who's Katlego Musaka? You see what happens? What is happening now? I want to know more about you. Who's Katlego Musaka? They start telling me, no, Katlego Musaka is this businesswoman, business lady. She does 1, 2, 3. You know what? Bring in Katlego Musaka. You see what happens now? Honor opens doors for you. Now, it takes you. Actually, how do I put this? It short circuits the journey of you getting access to that particular person that you desire as a mentor. It makes things easier for you. Why? Because you met his needs. You must remember, even though he's a man of God and he's trusting God for the finances to build this project, when you start investing in that project, you are becoming God's answer to this person's life. That person will make sure that they want to meet with you. And obviously, that's your desire as well. You would want to meet with that particular person. I'm telling you, you will never be able to sit with Patrice Motsepe simply because you went there to his offices and you said you wanted to see him. You will never be able to see him. You will never be able to see him. But deposit money into his account. He deposit millions into his accounts. He wants to know who deposited this money. I want to know this person. That's the shortest way of accessing greatness. That same mindset can get you into the presence of Donald Trump, can get you into the presence of Barack Obama. It can get you into the presence of Bill Gates, all these high flyers. If you want their attention, you meet their need. You meet their need. If you want the attention of any great person, you meet their needs. You will have access. You will have access. The first thing I wanted to know when I connected with my spiritual father, the first thing I wanted to know his birthday. I wanted to know his anniversary, wedding anniversary. I wanted to know his clothing sizes. I wanted to know his bank account. That's what I did in the beginning. And today, the rest is history. I have access to my spiritual father. I can call him whenever I want to. I can go anytime, wherever he is. Why? Because I've pursued this man. I've pursued this man with everything. I believe I've answered you. Every time Katleho's questions will get us, talking, like really talking here. But I'm glad you are asking, Katleho. Many are benefiting because of your questions. I believe I've answered you. Tsepo says, the easiest access to a great man's heart is meeting their needs. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And I'm just going to run past a few more and then we close. And also the aspect of networking. The aspect of networking. Pursue relationships with a great. Pursue relationships with a great. It goes back to what we just discussed now. And connect with different personality types. Connect with different personality types. Also, I think let's push the others next week, because if I'm gonna start with what I want to start with now, we are a little bit over time now. Uh, I think we should carry on next week. We will carry on next week. But thank you so much for tuning in, and I believe that you are blessed by today's teaching. For those of you who have not yet purchased my book, The Call of God, here it is now. You can inbox me, direct message me if you want a copy, and we will arrange to get this book to you via courier. And if you can direct message me, we'll share all the prices and everything, getting it to you. I believe you'll enjoy this book. It will bless you. It's a great book. It's a powerful book. It will bless you. And yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you, Patrichesa. Patrichesa says people outside church understand better to get the attention of great people. They know how to win their hearts. Absolutely. And Katlejo says, I will ponder on what you have taught me. Thank you, Pastor K. Thank you, Pastor K. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah, allow me to say this as I exit, Katlejo, that great people have invested so much in their lives. They've invested so much into their lives, and um, it will be like very untoward of us to expect to be given attention by them without catching their attention. You must remember they are at a level where they've been hurt by too many people. They've been betrayed by too many people, and they've been undermined by too many people. And the last thing they need is just to waste their time. You must remember at that time, at that level of their lives, they've met too many people. But like I said, if you want the quickest way, I've just unfolded the quickest way. That's the best way. That's the quickest way. I've learned this from great men. I've learned it from great men, that you will never be able to access them until you meet their needs. God bless you. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week, same place, same time. Let's connect on Wednesdays with Pastor K. And for those of you who know our church and would love to come to our church, this is the weekend to not to miss. We are celebrating 7 years in ministry. It's going to be a powerful weekend. You don't want to miss it. We have services Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And Friday, we are starting at 7. Saturday, we are starting at 6. And Sunday, it's a cake day. We are starting at 11 in the morning. And it's going to be worth your while. God bless you. We'll connect some other time. See you next week, Wednesday, same place.